Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pursuit of Relentless podcast. You've got your host here, Alaina, and today I have a fellow Arete brother with me, and I'm super excited to have him because he is also from BC, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. So I've got Benjamin DelGrosso with me, and he owns a company called Safe Drive Solutions, and he's going to talk to you guys about his story and how he got started in entrepreneurship. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show. This is quite exciting to be involved on the show and be able to tell my story. Yeah. So do you want me to just start?
Yeah.
Tell you exactly my crazy story?
How'd you get started?
So January 2020, I quit my job. I just felt that, hey, you know what? I don't need to work here anymore. And what ended up happening is I was supposed to work for another company in about March. Well, guess what? This whole pandemic thing happened. And next thing you know, I ended up being unemployed. So I sat around the house like every other person for about a month and then just thought to myself, I need a purpose. Like, what am I doing sitting around the house? Like, I felt completely worthless and I felt that I needed to do something. My wife was still working, but I wasn't. So what ended up happening is I was in April 2020. I was supposed to go to Toronto and do kind of some borderline consulting talk, but obviously that didn't happen because everything was canceled in terms of events. So I did some free online training trying to tell people what they should do with their business. And everybody just kind of said to me I was crazy and it didn't make sense. So I thought to myself, I've been a manager, supervisor, purchaser, operations manager, inventory manager, general manager, regional manager. I've done everything but be an owner. Why am I not just taking all this knowledge and taking the leap? Mm-hmm. So I joined a networking group. I pulled the pin, created Safe Drive Solutions, and basically never looked back. Now, there was some launch was probably one of the craziest things ever. So I was doing 75 hard. And for those of you who know what 75 hard is, it's a pretty intense program. And I was doing that because I wanted to take care of myself. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to make sure I was eating healthy. And I wanted to make sure I had momentum going into my business launch. My business was supposed to launch Canada Day 2020. So in the middle of that launch, about 2 weeks prior, my dog died. Oh. And that was terrible, right? It was a terrible experience. Our dog of 12 years. And, so I dropped out of 75 hard, blah, blah, blah. I just lost focus. And then a couple of days later, I just kind of got right back onto it. Business is launching in the next week and a half. We need to go. And so what is happening is we have these people hired. They're supposed to start on payroll July 2nd. We're supposed to get them going. We're going to launch the business. I had 2 other owners coming into the business.
Interesting.
So, yeah, not a lot of people know this story. So 2 other owners were supposed to come into the business. Literally, I sent information to the lawyers. The lawyers started drafting up for changing the shares in order to have these other owners come in. I got documents where I had to send it off to both owners. We had to start figuring out job descriptions, which if you are going to start a business and you want to go into business with other people, make sure you do this. Otherwise, you could end up just having an owner doing nothing and collecting a paycheck. So either way, sent that information off to both other parties that were looking to be involved. The one person who was supposed to be involved, I kept asking, hey, I'm pretty sure you have a non-compete and you can't be involved. Well, this is the same person who went and recruited an employee to come on board and also committed to doing certain things for the business to help grow it. Well, guess what? His lawyer freaked out. All of a sudden, his non-compete was a big issue. And he can't even touch anything to do with the industry we were in with a 10-foot pole or he'll get sued. No. So this guy's backing out. His vehicle was supposed to be used as our mobile vehicle for the installer we hired that was going to go visit car dealerships, go visit and go do installations for consumers directly at their home. So next thing you know, I'm going, okay, well, if you're not in, I already had business cards made for all these people, shirts ordered, everything, but I knew we had to sign contracts. So sure, I lost a little bit of money, probably close to $1,500 to $2,000 with all these extra investments on shirts, cards, lawyers drafting up documents. But guess what? It's probably the best $2,000 I ever spent, because by them not signing, I'm in better shape. And had that person signed, knowing that they would have been competing, breaking their non-compete, non-solicitation, all that kind of fun stuff. Well, guess what? That would have mean they would have came directly at my business, right? So now all of a sudden my business could get put on hold if I'm stuck in lawyer proceedings or anything like that, or legal proceedings, I guess, right? Yeah. So we got this guy supposed to be involved. He's not. The other person, we just decided, hey, you know what? This kind of turned into a mess here. Let's shelf it and let's talk later. And so the other person who was going to come in, who just said, that's fine. I completely respect that. And, flukishly, long story short, we've actually started talking again about that person coming in recently. Okay. But I don't want to jump ahead too much here. Mm-hmm. So anyways, we launched the company. It's me now. Now it's me by myself. The people I had hired, I went and found jobs at other competitors. Why? Because I felt that was the right thing to do, because someone else coerced them to come and work for the company under the wrong pretense and wrong information, basically saying they were going to get a certain amount of business, get these people to have jobs. And guess what? They weren't going to have a job. And if the cash flow I had, I would have been out of business in under 2 months. And flukishly, what happened was I was talking to a friend of mine named Owen Brown, who I met in another networking group. And he says to me, he goes, listen, if you say you would do consulting and you would show people how to run their business and everything, what advice would you give to somebody if they said about keeping that employee on? What advice would you say? Because you said you'd run out of money in 2 months. I said, well, I'd be telling them to get rid of that employee, find him a job somewhere else. He goes, then you should do that, or your business is going to be under 2 months. Mm-hmm. Right. And a lot of people make the big mistake of trying to do what they feel is the right thing. And what I mean by that is, let's say you hire a family member, I don't know, I hire my sister or something to work for me. And I want to make sure she has a job because she's working for me. But knowing that, hey, if we don't turn a certain amount of profit in the next couple of months, the business will be under. Well, what they do is they keep that person on instead of going, hey, but if I don't hire that person, I could have 6 months to try and grow the business. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people make these wrong decisions based on trying what they feel to do the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing for their business. Right? You understand what I'm saying here?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I made the hard decision. I found these people jobs, moved them on, and now I'm by myself. Okay. The launch of my company within about the first 3 weeks was absolutely insane. So by July 7th, we're talking, the business has been live for a week. I have I went and visited about 20 car dealerships and handed out we have some special prices, this and that. We want to grow our business with you. And did it on a certain product or brand that we carried at that time. After I visited those 20 car dealerships, I got home to the office. It was about 4:00, and I get an email saying, you are no longer an authorized dealer of this product.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what? So when you already have invested a whole bunch of your own money, you've already been pretty much kicked in the face. It was pretty bad. So I'm like, what the hell? So I call them, and they wouldn't tell me what was going on. They were jumping around. And because of my experience of being in purchasing and management, I knew that what happened is that they broke the law. And I contacted the manufacturer in the United States and asked what happened. And all I can say is they confirmed to me that a big box retailer in Canada said, if you dump the product that he's selling, we'll give you a big purchase order. Which is against the law. You can't do that. So I had to report them to the Canadian Competition Bureau of Canada, which is a free service. They do investigating and everything, and they find out what's going on. And I fought to try and keep that brand, but literally it was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to have these partners. I'm supposed to have employees. I want to handle operations. I want to handle hiring. I want to handle growing. And next thing you know, within a week, I'm the installer. I'm the manager. I'm the owner. I'm the marketer. I'm everything. Actually, sorry, I'm not the marketer at that point in time. So I'm all stressed out. What the hell am I going to do? Now I only have one brand. I had two brands. Now I have one brand. What am I supposed to do? Right. And so what ends up happening is I end up just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've lost all focus on my business. Now my business is, I need to attack these people who came after me. Right. And for a week, that's all I did. So I lost all focus on everything I do. And this is a big thing. If you're opening a business, don't lose focus.
Yeah.
Very important to just stay on track. Know that shit happened to you. It went sideways, and just stay on track. So another week goes by. I have the company that did my website, did my marketing, did all that fun stuff. I find out that basically the website they delivered to me basically has no content. They've charged me $12,000 to $15,000 for this website. The marketing campaign that they were going to do, they have they're talking about car audio in my marketing. They're talking about all sorts of shit in my Google ads. They're doing so many things wrong that has nothing to do with what my business is about.
Yeah.
So now I'm going, shit, partners, lost brands. The people who are supposed to do my marketing are screwing me. This is all within 3 weeks, plus my dog dying, right? So it's like, boom, 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 and I'm going, what the hell? So I fire the guy who built the website, because literally he delivered me a website that I could have got built for maybe $500 on Fiverr. And if anyone who doesn't know what Fiverr is just kind of like a third-party service where you can put out things to tender and hire people from anywhere in the world. So realistically, I got screwed, and I was, with everything, all the investment, I was 15 or 20 grand in the hole, and I felt that I literally had nothing. Mm-hmm. And we're talking, I'm pretty well connected. I've done all these positions, but when you're starting a business, it's a whole different challenge.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so everybody thinks it's easy, but think about it. I was a regional manager, right? I was a general manager for 10 years. I did purchasing for, I think it's 15 years now, right? I know the game. Most people, they're a technician that, installs electrical in someone's houses, or they're the installer that's just a mechanic that works on a car, and they go, I'm going to start a business. They don't even have the experience I do, and I've talked to people who've been customers of mine who've told me, yeah, they told me that you do this more stuff. I'm 60 grand into my website now. And they don't even have anything, because they just keep talking them into more and more money. But luckily, I knew to fire all this stuff very quickly, cut ties. Obviously, the ownership thing with part owners, that was all cut and dry very, very quickly early. Cut ties with that brand that screwed me, and I had to wait to get my refund check. So they tied up all my cash flow for bringing in another brand, which was, for a new company, that was over $5,000 of product, right? And I mean, I'm not rich. I'm funding it all with my own money. All of it's being funded with my own money. I didn't borrow money from the bank. I didn't have, a year to pay it off. This is our savings. And you have to remember, I haven't worked for quite a few months, right? I'm sitting around the house. So I have that, fired these people. And next thing you know, I have no one to manage the website. I have nobody to do my marketing. So guess what I'm doing?
All of that as well.
I'm learning. I had to learn how to build a whole website. I had to learn WordPress. I had to learn, and so many people, like you've seen lately in our Arte community, I've been putting on this like search engine optimization training for beginners. I've been putting on YouTube training for beginners. I've been putting on a lot of these trainings because I had to teach myself everything.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say to people, if you're going to start as an entrepreneur, learn everything. Even if you don't want to do it, at least learn enough to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you just go, hey, I need a marketing company, boom, here's $2,000 a month, and you throw money, but you don't know. You have to understand, these people don't know your brand. They don't know you as well as you know you.
Right.
So if you go and learn, you're going to learn a lot by making mistakes. And believe me, I made a lot of them.
That's crazy, man. So
yeah, it's nuts.
What happened from there? You're like, I'm just going to go and take on all of this stuff. And did you have any help? Like, was your wife able to support you, or did you have other people that were able to help you out, or business, like people that,
oh yeah,
these are my homies,
No, I mean, I had people, checking up on me, what's going on, what's happening, friends encouraging me that, you'll get through it. Right. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that there was a wide audience of people that wanted to see me fail. Right. They want to see you fail. And I'm not going to lie, the first year I applied for probably like 50 jobs.
Wow.
Because I kept thinking, this is not going to work. It's pretty obvious, all these things happened to me. And obviously I just wasn't meant to do this. So it's very easy to give up on yourself. I'm going, how am I going to support my family? How am I going to pay the bills? Right? All these things go through your head and you've no idea, a lot of people think they can just go start a business and like money just starts flowing in.
Yeah.
Well, my first month, I think I sold $3,000. Yeah. I'm used to making a lot more than $3,000 a month. And you're talking about $3,000.
My first year in business, I made $4,500.
Yeah. I didn't pay myself a dime year one. Wow. Nothing. I just kept on. If there was profit, for instance, I remember one month was good. I was like, we made $2,000 in profit. Throw it right back in the business. Invest in this, that, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then next month, I lose $1,000.
You're like,
and it's so discouraging because you're like, if you are looking short-term thinking, and this is a key point. When I started my business, I focused on the transaction. Everything was about getting the money. It was all about, how can I sell this box? What do I got to do? I should just give it away. Whatever I got to do, I just got to sell this box. And because I focused on the transaction, I wasn't long-term thinking. I was short-term thinking. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're going to do when you build a business, you have to think long-term. And so many people get so worried about the grind that they're not looking at the big picture. And this is why, what is it? Is like 80% of entrepreneurs fail in the first year or something like that. It's something huge. It's something huge, right?
My business stats are that.
Yeah. Yeah.
People start and they're like, this is going to be so easy. And then they don't even get a license. And I'm like, well, that was dumb. Like, what are you doing? Right.
Yeah. It's hard. Right. But I focused on the transaction the first year. And I don't remember the lady's name, but it changed everything for me on year 2. And I mean, there's probably all sorts of information I left out there. Like, for instance, one little nitpick, I did Facebook ads for about 3 or 4 months, and I was spending about $1,000 a month. And guess what? I was never profitable. It never worked.
Right.
because Facebook, I find, is more of a push strategy in terms of you're pushing marketing on people that might be interested in your product. While with Google Ads, which I started up in December 2020, or mid-November to December 2020, I started using it, and I cut off all Facebook. And I find that's more of a pull strategy. What I mean by that is you're putting it out there, and people who are searching for your product will then find you.
Right.
Right. But if you're trying to push it on people, you're like, just because they drive a car doesn't mean they want a dash camera. Right. Well, there's a lot of people who believe that accidents will never happen to them at all. There's lots of people just feel that they're too good of a driver. It'll never happen. So you're wasting money and ad spend pushing dash cameras on people that don't even want a dash camera. Right. So anyways, needless to say, I know I'm skipping a big part of the year, but July 2021 was the big game changer for my business. It was huge. And you need to focus on listening to your customers.
Yes.
So customers are saying something to you at all times. And if you're not listening and just focusing on the transaction, and what I mean by that is if you just keep on like, okay, I sold this box, the box has gone out the door, and you're not focusing on what's going to happen after that box is out the door. And if you're not focusing on the actual customer and being in the moment right then and there, you're not listening to them. And this customer called me and she's like, I really believe in supporting local small business. And I really want to support you, but I can't find your Google reviews anywhere.
Interesting.
And I go, well, and so I'm talking to her, and luckily she was very good at listening. And she was just saying, I'm going, you go to Google Maps, like maps.google.com, and then you look up Safe Drive Solutions, and then you click on the logo on the map, and then from there, and I'm explaining it all to her, and I'm going, she's like, it just sounds like a lot of work. And I'm going, yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. You got.
So I said, yeah. So you know what I did? I found a way to put Google reviews on my website.
Cool.
And you know what happened? My business exploded.
Yeah.
Because now and I was only at 10 reviews then last year in August. So now I have 114 reviews.
Wow.
Because I made it easily accessible to people so that they could understand where to find it, where they could find the reviews. And everything changed. Everything changed with my business, because what I started realizing is if somebody calls twice for something, if they call once, that's one thing. If they call twice, there's something wrong in my systems and processes. And that's where it was. So someone called me, hey, how do I pair my phone to the dash cam? And then I'm like driving, or I'm doing an install, and I'm walking through, we got to do this and push this button and do this. And then, you have to go through your settings on your phone and I'm doing all this. I'm wasting all this time. And it's not like, I'm not saying I'm wasting my time because of the customer. It's inefficient and ineffective in my business.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, your customers are always telling you something. So you know what I started doing? I started making videos on YouTube explaining how to do it.
Cool.
And then I put it on my website. And now I have a full support tab on my website with videos, how to pair your phone, how to download a video for all the dash cams we carry.
Cool. That's a really great idea.
So this is the thing. Well, yeah, this is the big thing. A lot of people aren't listening to their customers.
Mm-hmm.
I also follow up with my customers a couple days later, and I send them the links. Right. So I send them the links. I send them the information. So that way they have it. And I'll see people go back and forth on the website, because maybe an accident happens or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go in and they want to see the videos. They want to remember how to do it again. So it's really great because you're being there for your customers. And I guess, the other big thing I guess I should talk about is my mission, vision, and values, right? It's important that you create values for your company that reflect you, and, my values, one of my biggest ones is urgency. So and this was all July, August is when I said, you know what, I need to implement values.
Yeah.
Right. And this was, like I said, a year into the company. It was like, why don't I have values? I believe that I should have values. Why don't I have them? So if you're going to start a company, make sure you start with values. Have a mission statement. Your mission statement will probably change multiple times. Your vision will probably change multiple times, but have values that reflect who you are and what you want your business to be about. But you need to live by them. Right. And my big ones, I have authenticity, right? Being authentic, being who I really am, integrity.
Number
efficiency.
one on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. Efficiency. Big one. For me, urgency. So even a gentleman the other night, Colin, he sent me an email. Hey, I just witnessed a car accident and I'm not good with technology. I don't remember how to pair with this thing. I know you have videos and stuff, but I'm just really not good. And I literally called him within 5 minutes because it was after hours, but I seen it. And to me, that was urgency. This guy might need help right now.
Yeah.
Sure, it was 8:00 at night, but I figured, hey, you know what? I want to get to this person right away. And the last one is continuous improvement. I always want to continuously improve and find better ways. And, I joined Arate. And within a month of me joining Arate, which was December 2021, I implemented personalized video thank yous for every single one of my customers.
I love that.
Every single customer gets a personalized video thank you now. Even if you just only buy from our e-commerce store, I still send personalized video thank you. All of our personalized video thank yous have they have links to the support tabs. They have links to our YouTube channel. It has lots of different links, things to help customers out, things that they can keep going back to over and over and over again. And so many people miss this. And all I'm trying to do is supply information. And the video is not like, please give me a Google review because, I need Google reviews. I don't do that at all. There is links there that people can click, but I'm always trying to make it personalized. And for instance, you see this Italy jersey behind me, right? This is actually signed from the starting 11 from the 2006 World Cup when Italy won the World Cup.
Wow.
So to me, it represents what winning looks like. This is a winning team that won the World Cup, that worked together as a team. And occasionally I get lots of English people. And when I talk to the English people, I like talking about soccer and I love soccer. I'm a big soccer buff, right? So what I like to do is say, hey, Dave, I know you're a big Manchester United fan, but, Italy, beat you guys in the Euro Cup recently. But then what I'll say is, but what's funny? We didn't even make the World Cup this year. And a lot of those people will actually message me back saying, you're a funny guy. You're really cool. But they'll also, a lot of them will give me 5-star reviews, but because I'm just trying to be personalized. Yeah. I know they're into soccer. A lady recently, for instance, I said, hey, I just wanted to say hi. And I wanted to say, I'm sorry to hear that your husband's a Manchester United fan because I'm an Arsenal fan, which are just big teams in the English Premier League for people who do follow soccer. But I try and do funny things like that because it's personalized. And because I do care about all my customers, I want to take care of them. And, Andy always says on his podcast and his trainings, there's no way to speed it up. People always say, how do I fake caring about my customers? You can't fake it. Never. You need to actually authentically care about your customers. And I do care about all my customers. Right. And because of that, and ever since I've changed from not being transactional to being focused on the relationship, I get lots of referrals now every month. People are referring me. They're happy with how I've had conversations with them, how I took care of them, how, I get a lot of reviews where people are like, I sent him an email and an hour later, he sent me a video showing me how to change that setting on my dash camera. Like I didn't expect that that quick of a response, right? Like,
yeah,
because I care. I just want to make sure to give people really good customer service.
that's so important though. And I think that that's where a lot of people slip up is they don't focus on, like Andy calls it, going the extra mile. It's being you. Why should people buy from you over someone else? Right?
Yeah.
It's what makes you unique, what makes you important to that person, and what makes them understand that you do care about them. I do personalize Christmas cards every year.
Yeah.
And seriously, I only do it for my direct customers, like my personal clients in the financial services industry. But I'm like, I should get better. I should get better at that. But it's like, I probably spend a month writing Christmas cards for these people, because it's not just like, oh, I have to write a card for Susie. No, I'm going to call Susie and be like, dude, how's your week going? Or like, how's your summer, or what's going on? Right. Because then you have something to thank them for. You can show them that you appreciate them. You can just go out and be like, this is what it's all about. Right. Because then it's like, I always like to end in like, thanks for including me in your financial freedom journey. Something like that. Love, Alaina, with a little heart. Right. And that's so much more impactful than not sending anything, right? Or just like sending a generic thank you card that's like, thanks for your purchase. Well, I sell life insurance, man. Like, I'm like, people need to know you care about them. People need to know that you're going to take care of their families when they die, solidified for them, or else they're never going to keep you as their advisor. Right. So I'm just sitting here going, how can I stand out? How can I be different? How can I, shine, I like to say. And I think it's so important to focus on that.
Yeah, so many people. Yeah, no, I mean, and what happened was in December, my daughter and I recorded this little video, and it was like me saying, hey, it's Benjamin with Safe Drive Solutions. I just want to say thanks for supporting my business, and have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And then my daughter was 4 years old at the time. And she just kept coming in the office. So finally on like, I don't know, take 20 or whatever, because I'm trying to like polish it up. She's like, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year kind of thing, right? And I just put it on YouTube in like private. And that's how I started my whole video thank you journeys. I sent everybody that video. That's all I sent everybody. It wasn't personalized at the time because I wanted to see how do people react to it. Yeah. And I think I had like 40 or 50 likes. And I was like, holy smokes. Okay, cool. And a couple of people are like, well, why aren't you doing happy holidays? Why aren't you doing something else? Why are you doing Merry Christmas? I'm like, oh, whatever. We celebrate Christmas. So what's the big deal? That's what we do. And I understand that people will celebrate other things. I'm not going to do the politically correct thing. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas, and that's it.
Yeah.
And lots of people loved it. They thought it was awesome. I even had one guy who's like, I want you to join my church. You and your daughter are so
random.
Cute. So
that's great.
You get all sorts of different things, but and then after that, I started doing the thank you videos, and I made lots of mistakes learning. But I didn't say anything inappropriately, but it felt like really, I just want to thank you for supporting my business. Have a good day, and that's all it was, right? And it wasn't personalized. And then I started like for February, started getting more personalized, right? Because it's like you need to get in front of the camera. People love videos nowadays. You see TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you got, YouTube and YouTube shorts and all that stuff now. Right. And you need to get in front. People are buying from people they know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. And there are so many things I'm doing where it's interesting because I started doing YouTube videos and I focus on education because I want to give out information. Even if people don't buy from me, it's not about that. I want to make sure that I'm educating. Yeah. I don't want to just flog my product.
I'm the same.
So, so you start doing these videos, and now like some people, when you go to their house, they're like, oh, Benjamin's here. Like, it's actually the guy from the videos. And it's like, you're like, oh, I'm a star. I'm just like some dash cam guy. Right. But like, that's how some of these people, they react to you because they've already associated with you by seeing your videos.
Yeah.
And I have friends who have businesses. Like I have a friend who's had a business for like 10 years now. He won't get in front of the camera. I'm doing like his social media, but I'm telling him like, you need to do your social media. You need to get in front of the camera. He's like, yeah, I know. People tell me that. I'm like, dude, who cares? You don't, when I was so scared to do it, so scared to do it. Like I was so worried. What are people going to think about me? And, you know, I've told this story quite a few times and I'll be telling it on Monday again. But when I started doing my YouTube recordings, it was literally me like this, reading from a thing like, hi, my name is Ben and I'm from Safe Drive Solutions. And today we're going to talk about how dash camera won't kill your vehicle battery. And then I'll look up and then I'll look down. And then like I had this cheap microphone that was like making like taps and I was nervous. So I'm like hitting the counter. It's terrible video, but it's got 4,900 views right now.
Wow.
Right. Because it has good information.
Yeah.
I had blogs written on my website. I was reading the blog right off my computer. But obviously people want to see you looking into the you know, into the camera screen. That obviously does better. Right.
I'm like, we don't actually do that. We actually look at each other because it's weird not to look at each other. But it's like, I can sit here and stare into the camera and this is how I should be talking. But it's weird that way because then I'm just looking at a camera, you know?
Yeah, I've been telling people like there's all sorts of things that you can do.
Yeah.
For YouTube, and it doesn't even have to be the best. And what happens is you get in front of there. And that's what I noticed, like another explosion of my business was I started doing all these videos. I did these video thank yous. You know, I started leveling up. Why? Because you know what will survive a recession? Giving good customer service and actually caring about your customers.
Yes.
I got
the best contacts I've ever received the other day. So we have a program called the WRAP program up here. So it's like they take high school students and put them through the trade schools and will pay for their trade schools and place them in job placements in the oil sands, right? And so I did a careers event for high school students, just talking about what we do in our business. And I had these guys come up to me, one's from Syncrude, one's from Suncor. And they were like, hey, we want you to teach all of our WRAP program kids about money and finance. Are you willing to do that? I was like, yeah, like that's me. I would love to, because that's something I'm super passionate about is getting the kids the information so they don't screw it up like I did. Right. And I'm like, man, if we can start when they're 15 or 17, you know, when they're just starting to get into the workforce, like how incredible is that? And then these people are placing them in careers that are making them $100,000+ a year when they're 18 years old. Right. And so those kids are setting themselves up for failure if they don't have that education. So I love that all I had to do was volunteer somewhere and I was able to receive that contact. And they're like super excited to sit down with me and my team and like make the plan for what we're going to do moving forward. But that's an opportunity for me to get hundreds of clients a year just because I'm willing to go out and volunteer for a couple hours. Like that it's crazy.
It's huge because what could end up happening from that is you could go there and do the training. And if everybody gets at least one or two things that they learn from it, you could end up having, even if like there's 100 people there, none of them sign up. It's just the ripple of them going and telling everybody how you learned something from you.
Yes.
Now it might be, you know what? If I was ever going to do anything financial wise, I would deal with her.
Call Alaina. Yeah.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, boom, it explodes. And, you know, I have a lot of people where they're like, you know what? I found another shop to go to. I had this lady who she loved my service. She loved my video. She learned so much from them. But she went somewhere else because she saved $20. So 2 days later, I followed her and I followed up with her just saying, hey, I just thought I'd ask how your service went the other day. But why? I was just curious. And she goes, to be honest, I'm probably going to recommend my friend to come to you. I'm like, oh, why is that? And she goes, they didn't even show me how it worked when it was done. I have no idea how this dash camera works. She goes, I should have just paid the extra $20 and went with you.
Wow.
Right? Because I mean, most times new technology, people are scared. right? Or what they do is they just teach you how to, here you go, you pair your phone. There you go, you're paired. Yeah. Because that's what most companies are going to do. They'll teach you how to pair your phone, but they're not. I go through all the menus. I should explain all the settings to them. I try and make them feel comfortable with the product. And I make sure that they hold it in their hand the entire time. Right? Why? Because you want the customer to be in control of what's going on so they feel comfortable with it. If you just do everything yourself like this, and you hit this button and you do this and
they're just going, I can't do this. It's too hard.
Yeah, exactly. So, I
think that was something that Harley Davidson did really well. When my husband bought his Harley, they sat there, they like brought it into the showroom and made a big deal about it. Right. And I'm like, no wonder they sell so many friggin' bikes, like it's crazy. No wonder people are so loyal to their brand, because they go above and beyond. They go and they have the manager of the entire building walk you through. This is your new bike. Here's how to use it. I'm going to help you pair your cell phone. I'm going to help you set up your alarm codes. I'm going to help you, make sure that your presets are good for what you want to listen to on your ride home today. Right? Do you have all the gear you need? And I was just sitting there going, wow, like that was great. Like I've never seen that level of customer service before. And I was super impressed. Right?
I witnessed it. I witnessed it once myself. I had picked up my 08 Pontiac Vibe at Southgate Pontiac in Edmonton when they used to be around. They've recently got purchased, I want to say like in 2012 or something, by a different name brand company. Anyways, and Chris Baltzan was his name. I was actually trying to get him on my podcast, because when I went to show up to get my Pontiac Vibe, he goes, make sure you have an hour plus of time. And I'm going, to pick up a car and give me my keys? And he literally was like, went through like the windshield washer fluid, and it takes a full, 4-liter jug, and literally went into like every little detail of this thing. And it was, I knew everything. Like there was things that I'm glad I went and spent time and got that full demo, because now it's like, oh, that's how you turn the rear windshield wipers on. And that's how you do that. Because most people just say, I'll read the book. They're not going to even read the book on half that. People don't read the book. Why do they even put owner's guides? Like, look at Apple figured it out years ago. They don't put owner's guides in any of their things. They give you some free stickers and a warranty piece of the warranty sheet. You think about an iPad, there's no owner's guide anywhere. It's a different world.
It is. And I think that's so valuable, because when you're going into these conversations with people, it's like, you never know what they're going to take out of the conversation either. You never know what is going to happen in the end. I mean, you can be like the best salesman in the world and give all this influence and be like, oh, this is the best product. But like you said, if someone else can save them $20, they're going to go to that guy, just because they've been told that that's the only thing that matters is the price. Whereas it's not. It's, you pay for the experience. You pay for the customer service. You pay for the fact that you're going to be able to call that person and be like, hey, I got you, and, or do you have me? Like, can you help me? And I think that that's one of the things I like most about what I do is you focus on the education, you focus on the customer experience, you focus on helping people, and you ask for referrals. And that's it. And when you do it the right way, people will send you referrals naturally without even you knowing, right? It's like, hey, can you help my friend? And you're like, yeah, I just saved her $400 a month on her life insurance. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Like, your friend's going to friggin' love me now, right? And guess what I did? I sent her some branded coffee mugs. They cost me $8, and it's like, thank you. I just made $2,000, right? I saved that lady a ton of money. And then you're going to get some coffee mugs because I appreciate the referral, right? And a thank you card, of course. But she was not expecting that, right? And then guess what she did? She posted it on her social media. Oh, Alaina's so great. Like, look at how great my financial advisor is. And I'm like, yeah, right? Like, this is awesome. But it's just wicked. When you go above and beyond, people will do the marketing for you, right? They'll go out and they'll spread the word about where they bought it or what they needed or what they learned, just holistically. And I think that that's the best way to grow a business, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have one customer. He calls me probably once every couple of weeks. I got a guy for you. And I was like, so he keeps on, giving me referrals because he just loved the experience so much, right? How I helped him and we talked. We did both him and his wife's vehicles. And it's so funny because I called some of his referrals and I go, hey, I'm calling because Eddie referred me to you and I need to make sure to get him his commission. And they just laugh because they know that I'm not paying him commission, but they just know like he just loves, he talks highly about me to all his family, his friends and everything, just because of the experience that he had. Right. And so that's what you want. You want to have people that are raving fans, or I think the other word I use is disciples, preaching and telling everybody about your business. Yeah. But if you focus on the transaction, and a lot of people make this mistake, what's in it for me, right? They focus on the what's in it for me right now. Yeah. Right. And there's tons of people that they say no and they go to somebody else. And I've had people where like I bought a cheap dash cam over a year ago. It wasn't good. I probably should have just went with yours. What's it going to cost to get this thing ripped out and put one of yours in? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. And then some of them will say like, you're not charging me extra for removal. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I mean, if I'm already going to be there removing it, it's fine. I'll just take care of you. Yeah. Right. And then they're even wild again that I'm not going to nickel and dime them an extra $50 or $100 for removal. Right.
Right.
Just want to take care of the customer. You want to grow that client base. And you know what? I'm just happy that people have invested in something to help with that extra layer of safety. And sooner or later, if they come to me, they come to me. If not, they've still made an investment with having that safety. But that's the whole point. I just want to educate and grow. And as you do that and people see that you're genuine and authentic and not just chasing the money, customers will automatically flock to you and support your company.
Make a friend, make a sale, as Andy would say.
Make a friend, make a sale.
Make a friend, make a sale. Andy Frisella is who we're talking about, folks. But yeah, I want people to get more access to you. We're out of time for today, but I definitely think that it's important that we all stay connected. And I, again, love that you're in BC because especially doing what you do, people need your help. And Vancouver's a terrifying place to drive. Like it really just is. I always have to drive through there when we drive back to my hometown of Pell River. But it's like my husband stops driving in Hope and he makes me drive from Hope to the ferry. And then we catch the ferry across and he'll drive from there. But it's literally like that one stretch. He's like, not doing it. I don't want to do it because there's so many accidents and there's so many people that are just like terrible drivers or they're driving like 50 over the speed limit. And you're like, what is going on? Like, what? Why are these people driving so fast? And you're like, I don't belong here. Anyways, I probably should get a dash cam. I just drive a really big truck. So I just, could drive over them. Anyways.
This was fun. Fun. It was great. It's the first time I actually told my full story. Well,
I loved it, man.
Bits and pieces of it.
Yeah. So what do you want people to do to follow you? Do you want them to follow your YouTube? Do you want them to follow your social media?
I'm big on YouTube. YouTube's my big thing. Safe Drive Solutions on YouTube. And we have my podcast, Focus on Customer Experience, on there. We also have all my videos where I'm trying to educate customers on dash camera safety.
That's awesome. What's your website?
www.safedrivesolutions.com.
That was like the perfect radio voice, by the way.
You know what? I got to give it up to my Yeti X microphone. This thing is beautiful.
Yeti'sTheBomb.com.
They do say I have a face for radio, so
you can't see my face because of the sun. I got to fix my lighting. I promise I will do that. But I just love the sunshine so much. I'm like, fuck it. I just want the sunshine. I don't care what I look like on camera, but I know it should be better. I'll get there. I'm like,
all good.
Yeah, I worked in an office for too long with no windows. So now I'm like, I'm just gonna whatever. But anyways. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I loved your story and I look forward to meeting you in Nashville.
That'll be awesome.
Fun. Heck yeah. Until next time, folks, make sure that you like the show. And if you do get value from it, which I know you did because I just took a page notes while I was interviewing, but make sure you share it with a friend and talk about it and get some access to Benjamin a little bit more. And until next time, that is Pursuit of Relentless signing out.